Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaro. As you know, we are all quarantined. There is a pandemia going on in the world, and we are all confined to our homes. And even though many people work from their homes, some go out and work, most of us have more time to be with ourselves and maybe to think about what should we do with our lives. And I remember reading about it. I'm not too sure where really, but these are thoughts that were expressed, some by others, some of my own, that say the following, in your life, don't try to be perfect. Admit mistakes. Take a chance. If you want to be perfect, somebody already said that excellent is the enemy of good. And if you're always afraid, you're not too sure, you haven't solved all the possible errors that you can commit, you'll never do anything. So don't be afraid to make a mistake. I remember reading or maybe hearing one of the secretaries, ministers in the United States, they're called secretaries. I think it was a labor secretary or something like that, said before any decision, what he does is write what the alternatives are and associate with each alternative what he thinks is the chance of success. And of course, he would choose the alternative that showed the greatest possibility of success. But even those alternatives are not 100% sure. So maybe one should in life take a chance. I think Emerson, who invented the light bulb, I think he tried 1,000 times and he failed. So I said, no, it wasn't failures 1,000. It was 1,000 parts that were necessary in order to achieve the goal that I wanted to. So therefore, my first reflection is, in life, don't be afraid to take a chance. Number two, I would say, look into yourself. What are the specialties? What are the special capabilities, the talents that you have? In my own case, for instance, I was raised in Lima, Peru, and because of it, I knew how to speak Spanish. But after high school, I went to the United States. I became a rabbi, served for 12 years in a congregation in New York City, but eventually landed in Latin America. Why? Because I had this additional talent. I knew how to speak Spanish. So therefore, I was different from many a rabbi of my generation in New York. I could use my knowledge of Spanish in order to bring about the tradition, the teachings of Judaism to why I considered then was a far remote country. And so I did actually for 4 decades. I am not better than anybody else. I am average probably. But I have this added fact that I know how to speak Spanish, and I used it, I think, for my benefit and the benefit of the community. Each and every one of us has some kind of hidden talent, whether it's learned, whether it's native. Some of us have musical inclinations. Some of us know how to paint better than others. So regardless of what you are doing, make sure that you take advantage of the special talents that you have also. One can look at the empty glass, one can look at a half-filled glass and think, look, there's only half a glass of water. Some can think, thank God, at least I have a half a glass of water. The difference is between optimism and pessimism. One can always look at the difficulties that can arise, or one can look at a new day. The sun will come up again. You can look with optimism to the world. Well, my suggestion is become an optimist. It's better. It's much better to be an optimist because these things feed on themselves. If you're a pessimist, your pessimism will make you even more pessimistic. If you're optimistic, you'll be even more optimistic because these attitudes feed among themselves. Remember also to be grateful, to be grateful to what happened before. There's a very famous theorem called of Pythagoras, we all remember of a triangle that has a 90-degree angle about the hypotenuse and decides what the relationship between those two are. There's Newton, there's Galilee. You know, when you come to study something, actually you are building upon a mountain of knowledge that was acquired before. So be grateful that those that preceded you did so much. The Talmud mentions the following, that Moses, the great Moses, was allowed to come back to earth, and he went into the yeshiva, to the house of study of Rabbi Akiva, and he was listening to it, and he didn't understand much of what was going on. And those are his teachings. Well, it seems that things keep on developing, you know, things keep on evolving in this world. Don't stay in one place. You know, there is such a thing as development, new ideas. And I think there's a difference between the intelligent and those that keep on only thinking about nostalgia, about how good the past was. It isn't always so. It isn't always so. There are new situations and you have to adapt to new situations, so that these days of confinement, you should also look into yourself. What is your attitude toward life? Maybe you should make some changes, become a little more optimistic, be grateful for what was done before, and know that what you are doing is building upon things that were already done. And above all, I think take risks. You know, if you don't take a risk, you'll never progress. In order to go forward, many a time you don't know exactly where that forward step will take you. Of course, you try to eliminate as many unknowns as possible, but to solve all the problems beforehand is a practical impossibility. So be true to yourself, use your hidden talents, and you surely will achieve much more in this world.